Hello and welcome to the Herald Gaming channel. Today, thanks to the kindness and generosity of my Patreons, I want to share with you the new features coming in WoW's next expansion, which I think makes Shadowlands the best expansion for new players, returning players, and alt-aholics like me that we have ever had. Now, I know extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence, so let's break down the features and see if I can convince you of the merits of my argument, and maybe even tempt a few new players to dive into the darkness of the abyssal maw come launch. Revamping levels. I do not think I can overstate the intimidation factor of jumping into an established community of millions of gamers, which spans 15 years worth of content. Now, new players face a rocky path to max level. As it stands, trying to level through those 6 expansions is a fragmented mess, even with the zone scaling revamp of Battle for Azeroth. With new characters out-leveling the storylines they are playing through and being forced to jump into the next expansion in line to continue gaining meaningful experience. That lack of coherent narrative not only kills immersion, but disconnects the player from the community and the story and their character's place in the world. It also takes a fair old chunk of time to reach max level, just to add insult to injury. But rejoice, because Blizzard have put their big boy pants on for this one, stepped up to the plate, and if they pull this off as well as we all hope they will, their solution could be a hole-in-one. Sorry, I just love to mix my metaphors every now and then, so here are their elegant solutions. Step 1. Level squish. All max level characters, that being 120 at the moment, will be poofed down to level 50. Now, fear not, this is just a level deflation. They are not stat smashing pinata style on your beloved avatars. So heading into the expansion, veteran players will start at level 50, with level 60 being the max for Shadowlands. This squish is going to take some of the exhaustion factor out of alt leveling, but it will be game changing for new players. I honestly wonder how many new brothers and sisters in arms we've lost in that climb to 120. Let's hope they will return with the bifurcation of that number. Step 2. Reinventing the journey. So with these announced changes, if you are brand spanking new to World of Warcraft, when you create your very first character, you'll be popped into, well, a brand spanking new zone, Exile's Reach. This deserted island is designed to introduce players to the gaming ethos of Warcraft and shepherd them all the way from 1 to 10. Now, once you hit 10, you'll be yeeted out into the Battle for Azeroth expansion and then popped out into the Shadowlands. This is a fixed path for new players, so if you're brand new, the only choice you have is Exile's Reach, Battle for Azeroth, and then onto the Shadowlands. However, if you're a veteran player starting a new character, you have some choices to make. So 1 to 10, like newbies, you can just play through Exile's Reach, or you can level normally in the traditional starting zones. At level 10, your options open up further, so you can choose just to play through the world as it stands with all the story skips and narrative confusion, or you can let your old friend Chromie give you a hand because, oh my goodness, she has some tantalizing alternatives for you. To reiterate, you can take the same path as a new player, or at level 10, you can choose to level through any of the expansions you like. And that one expansion you choose will take you from 10 to 50, allowing you to immerse yourself in the story and truly enjoy the leveling experience, after which you hop into Shadowlands. The final cherry on this very nerdy, yummy cake is the reduction of between 60 and 70% to the amount of experience needed to hit level 50. So huzzah, this is going to help not only alters but people who are trying to unlock those beautiful heritage armors, so we thank you very much, Blizzard. More customization finally. One other very welcome feature coming around the topic of character creation is Blizzard's new focus on character customization. Now, the shocking lack of variety, be it face options and hairstyles to the complete lack of inks or markings or any body type variations, has been around since launch. This is a crying shame because I think none would dispute that the artists at Blizzard are some of the most talented in the industry, and their abilities have been profoundly overlooked and underutilized in this area. So what can we expect? Well, there are a wealth of changes coming, with around 40 new options for Blood Elves confirmed at BlizzCon, and I'm hoping there will be equal love shown to all the Classic Plus races. For example, Dwarves are getting some very welcome RP options for clan representation, and if there is any justice at all, this will bring them up to the high fidelity of the wonderful Dark Iron customizations. It's true, not everybody cares about aesthetics, but for me and many others, having the freedom to create a character which reflects our ethos, be it in respect of role-playing or simply allowing us to better reflect our digital selves in-game, is for me something to celebrate. It's long overdue and very welcome indeed. Now, the last tempting, I'm going to say customization, is the unlocking of the Death Knight class to all races, but I mean, how they will implement this is anyone's guess. But with the shiny new skins, data mined, and the Lich King's dethroning, I hope Blizzard takes the opportunity to reimagine the DK narrative starting point, or at least show it some love. Alt-aholics Anonymous. Now, if you asked me to define myself as a gamer, I would say I am a dirty casual, alt-aholic, lawhound. So, you can imagine my joy when Ian Hazukosta announced that alting would be getting some serious love in Shadowlands. For the last 2, if not 3 expansions, playing alts has been a right royal pain in my, posterior. The endless grinding of one type of power or another put the kibosh on most serious players' aspirations for multi-maining, as well as sucking the joy out of it even for the most casual wowers like me. But no more, because alts heading into the Shadowlands will have a distinct advantage. On your first playthrough of the Shadowlands, you will be following a strict story-focused path which takes you through Bastion, then to Maldraxxus, then to Ardent Wall, Revendreth, and finally into the max level zone of the Maw. At the end of this opening narrative, you then choose which covenant to ally with permanently, or rather, as permanently as they can make it. It's going to be very painful and very time-consuming to change your covenant, so choose wisely. Once the covenant has been selected, you then begin to work your way through the covenant's endgame story whilst unlocking rewards and skills from that faction. Once you have done that first playthrough, any alt heading into the Shadowlands gets to choose a covenant to ally with right off the bat, allowing them to work towards faction rewards as they level. Plus, it also allows you to play through any of the 4 Shadowlands leveling zones in any order you please, so your alts are not locked to that set story path, although you can play it if you want to. The last feature I want to talk about is player choice. This is something new which finds its roots in Battle for Azeroth, but will be taken to the next level in Shadowlands. Having agency in an MMO is hard. Many franchises have tried, but few have succeeded. Shadowlands is going to have 2 tracks that feature this in respect of story and gameplay style. So, story. Now, to be sure, Shadowlands is by no means a choose-your-own-adventure, but it does give players meaningful choices once you hit the endgame via covenants. Each covenant will have an expansive endgame storyline for players to follow, and these 4 separate narrative paths synergize well with the alt-love ethos of the expansion and will increase players' engagement in the content, at least for alt-aholic lore nerds like me. Onto the gameplay aspect. So you want to jump into some solo but meaningful gameplay for an hour before you have to return to the upside down reality we are all suffering through at the moment. Well, Blizzard has got your back, because group options are opening up for the endgame progression in the Endless Maw Dungeon Torghast. This challenging content scales from 1 to 5 players and even allows groups to break that sacred holy trinity. This freedom is not only handy for when you are time poor, but also enables more lone wolf style gaming and allows players to chip away at long-term goals even when the rest of your guild is otherwise occupied. Now, to be sure, these changes are limited indeed, but I welcome any headway towards agency, so these baby steps are hopefully a sign of greater changes to come down the line. So that's my thoughtfully laid out argument. Please let me know if you agree that Shadowlands has the potential to be the best expansion to date for new players in the comments below. And please, whilst you're down there, do like, share, subscribe, ring that bell so I don't get sucked into the more lost forever. And do please show some love to Shane Jones, Cody, Kildare, Cub, Jolly Joe Star, Jason Venter, Molini, Dark Griever, and all my wondrous, fantabulous Patreons, without whom I will be unable to dedicate the time and resources I do to my content creation. I can never thank you all enough. There are weekly World of Warcraft lore videos on the channel, and I will be making more Shadowlands content too, so I hope I will see you in the next video, but until then, as always, thank you so much for watching.